Hello and welcome to the Coquitlam Writers Group channel. This is Catherine. In this channel, you'll meet our members and you'll learn how they finished and published their books. If you're a new writer struggling to finish your book and to get it published, you can watch this channel to meet our authors and learn how they manage the writing and publishing process. Today, let me introduce you to Ted Yabut Jr. Ted Yabut stumbled into serious writing in 1971 when he became the youngest editor-in-chief of the Philippine Collegian, a college paper of the University of the Philippines. But his hopes for a career in journalism vanished when President Marcos declared martial law in 1972 and abolished freedom of the press. He managed to maintain his writing skills by working as an ad copywriter, a sales and marketing man, and a trainer. He now lives in Vancouver, BC, and has written and released the Brown Rice trilogy, a memoir in three parts. In 2016, he founded the Coquitlam Writers Group, which since met every week to read and critique their members' works in progress. The group has over 60 members and collectively has published over 100 books. Ted, thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Hey. Well, welcome. Can you please tell us a little bit about your book?
Sure. Uh, Brown Rice, the trilogy, is three books. It's set in Manila, in the Philippines, where a family struggles with poverty in the 50s, uh, gains a little bit of success in the 60s when the father of the family becomes more successful in the advertising business. But in the 70s, things turn a little bit turbulent in the Philippines because the president declares martial law and a lot of conflict happens. And of course, and the third book covers uh, the uh, the escape of the family and the basically the scattered. It scatters the family around the world, primarily to the U.S. and Canada. So the saga covers what 30 years um, uh, of of struggle and progress and struggle again, um, uh, and it ends in book three. But I want to focus on book one, which is entitled "A Boy Named Spike," where we meet uh, the young central character who dreams of following in his father's footsteps as a young boy growing up in a very westernized country like the Philippines, where English, believe it or not, in the 50s and 60s was the primary form of communication, where Western media dominated the lives of the people. And this young boy uh, struggles to follow in his father's footsteps. He wants to be a successful, goes to a good high school, he wants to go to a great university, he wants to join the prestigious Upsilon fraternity, um, just like his dad. And he wants to be a successful advertising man, just like his dad. That is book one. Well, whether he succeeds or not is for the reader to find out. Uh, but that sets the stage for the for the trilogy. So I like to encourage readers to. You can pick up any book in the trilogy, believe it or not, but book one is a good place to start.
Ted, that's great. Well, why did you choose to write A Boy Named Spike?
Well, I wanted to give the audience a uh, give them a trip back in time and give them a trip back to a country, the Philippines, that is a bit strange, but also very familiar to Americans and Canadian and readers around the world. It's very much a piece of America in the 50s and 60s. That was the society, the culture I grew up in. A lot has changed, obviously, since, but this will be a travel back in time for most readers that may not have even heard that these things happened in the other side of the world. Uh, but also to capture a little bit about the political drama that happened in the 60s and 70s that a lot of the younger generation today may have even forgotten. You know how history gets rewritten all the time.
Mhm.
Dictators become heroes, and their sins are quickly forgotten. Um, a very similar thing that we kind of experience these days. Uh, but I want readers to kind of relive or get to know that era, um, because this was a pivot point. This was a tipping point in the country where we go from a very Western point of view to an ultra nationalistic point of view, and eventually, as you will find out, a dictatorship of some kind. Um, so all of that is captured, is launched in the first book, in book one, um, but it carries on to book three. So I hope the readers will enjoy a bit of a travelogue, a little bit of a travel back in time, and a little bit of a glimpse as to how a country like the Philippines was transformed during that era through the lives of this family that we're focused on.
Ted, that sounds absolutely fascinating. And as you said, a concept that's very relevant to today. Would you be willing to read us an excerpt from your book?
Sure. It is a, I'll read a moment in time. It's a coming of age story to start with. So we'll start off with young Spike in school, in grade school, in elementary. And let me read you just a quick portion of it. In school, we punched holes on pieces of paper with a small pin and cut out shapes of houses and trees and heart and stars. I don't remember much of kindergarten except punching out hundreds of these shapes, which the teachers pasted all over the room with our names on them. The best part of school was recess when they let us out in the yard to play. We bought snacks from street vendors who lined up outside the school walls. Mom gave me 15 centavos every day to buy bibingka, a sweet treat made of sticky rice, for 5 centavos, and a Pepsi for 10 centavos. Bored with punching holes on paper one morning, I started doodling. My teacher caught me and asked to see my doodle. My teacher saw a house and a car next to the house. Up above in the sky was a strange round object. What's that circle you drew? She asked. It's Sputnik, ma'am. Don't you read the papers? I proudly replied. I will not have my students draw nonsense in this class. Go to the principal's office. I sat inside the principal's office waiting for mom because the principal had something important to tell her. My mom arrived and she met with the principal privately. She and the principal walked out of his office, and the principal told me, "Young man, your mother tells me you like to read the papers every day. Is that right?" "Yes, sir." "I didn't mean to be rude to teacher." "That's fine. I never heard of Sputnik till today. You should be a reporter someday." On the way home, I daydreamed of Clark Kent, mild mannered reporter and Superman in one. I had a Superman costume I wore at home all the time, but I couldn't be disguised as Clark Kent unless I had eyeglasses. By the time we reached home, I had a plan. I told mom I couldn't read too well. I needed eyeglasses as soon as possible. "We'll let the doctor decide," she said. "I'm taking you to Dr. Alcantara tomorrow. He's just up the street from here." Dr. Alcantara examined my eyes with a flashlight. He said he didn't think there was anything wrong with my eyes. I said I couldn't read too well. The doctor turned off all the lights in the room except one that lit up a chart of letters. He asked me to read the letters one by one at a time, from top to bottom. I could read all the letters clearly, but I began reading some of the letters incorrectly. Dr. Alcantara was not pleased with my answers. He told mom he would have my eyeglasses ready in a week. I couldn't bear the excitement of looking like Clark Kent in school and being Superman after school. I put on a new pair of glasses and it was perfect. Thick black frames with clear lenses. I combed and parted my hair to look like Clark. I was Superman's alter ego, mild mannered reporter on the outside, but man of steel on the inside, capable of leaping tall buildings and looking through walls. That feeling of invincibility, however, quickly disappeared as soon as I started bumping into walls and furniture. I could not see anything beyond 4 feet. In minutes, I felt a terrible headache and started to feel dizzy. What's going on? Within an hour of wearing my first pair of eyeglasses, I had fallen from superhero to miserable fool. How was I going to convince the doctor I could suddenly read without glasses? I couldn't. I pretended to wear the glasses for a month. I put them on at home, but took them off in school. I told mom why my eyesight had improved and I didn't need glasses anymore. She took me back to Dr. Alcantara, who made me read the same chart. I read every letter correctly, all the way down to the small letters on the bottom. Mom was so happy she found Dr. Alcantara. She said he was the best eye doctor in Manila.
Ted, that was wonderful. Thank you for sharing. One last question for you. Where can I buy your book?
Well, this book is now available on Amazon. Uh, all three books are available on Amazon, but I strongly recommend you start with the first one. You can pick all three up. Just go to Amazon.com or .ca and just type in brown rice um, memoir, and that'll get you to the page. That'll get you to my landing page. Or at the end of this video, I'll have the links and the description of the book in the description below. So that that would be your reference. Uh, well, yeah, it's available now.
All right. Well, folks, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this excerpt from the works of Ted Yabut in the Brown Rice series. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Also, please subscribe to watch more videos and book launches. Thanks for being with us today.